Adem, you're back. How are you feeling about it?
Oh, well, it's hard not to get excited for round one. We've been waiting for this for a fair bit. Like, our boys have got a lot of training in them. Obviously, pre-season games are pre-season games for a reason, and now we can't wait. Obviously, watching them playing opening round last week, you get a little bit jealous around watching AFL footy when you don't get an opportunity to get out there, so we can't wait to get out there in front of our fans and hopefully put on a good show. Oh, well, not really. I think they'll see. I think our media team have put that out there. Obviously, the highlights around that, it was an amazing game, but we were 41 points down. So we've got to be really mindful that we didn't start the game the right way. And the way we reviewed that game was the fact that we probably shouldn't have won it based on numbers. So there's some excitement around it. We understand that if we do play our best footy, we're a show. So that's all we'll be thinking about the process and not the result of last year.
Just on playing a team that's played a game already, do you have any thoughts on that, on the advantage?
Well, it depends. I think they'll be saying they'd rather Adem Yze be playing this week. So there's obviously some risk around that. But when you think about game time, I think most teams right now, we've got an amazing fitness staff that our boys are cherry ripe and ready to go. So we had a plan knowing that we weren't part of opening round, that we had 2 practice games and an intra-club game. So our whole process is around minutes. We've got a lot of minutes in our players. We've got the right amount of minutes that we needed. And that's the reason why Nick Fosson's not playing this weekend. He just hasn't got that volume of game time leading into round one. It'll be too high risk. So, we think we're prepared. Whether they're more prepared because they've played a game, who knows? Speaking of minutes, you only got half a cracky game up in Ballarat. Does that affect anything? Oh, we got a bit over half, and then we trained out on the field. So we got some volume into them. Like I said, that game, there was probably a few of our boys that would have gone out at three-quarter time anyway. So that was all part of it. Like, that wasn't... I'd be more worried if that we were 7 days away from playing. We had another week of training, another intra-club game. That was fine. It was pretty interesting training on the field with the other team on one half of the ground, but our boys got through that, no worries, and we don't think that's going to be an issue.
Adem, what did you make of the third quarter Blues Sydney, and how did the Blues let themselves down, do you think?
Oh, well, we don't. We look at it. We look at all of that. We look at the reasons why they were in front at the start and owning the game and looking like they should have been further in front. And then you look at the opportunities, whether it was centre bounce, whether it was stoppage, whether it was offence. You look at all those. Obviously, whenever you're looking at an opposition, you're looking at the threats as well as the opportunities. So there's 2 parts to it. You're looking at the first half of what could be a threat and the second half of our opportunities. So, we've got to be at our best to obviously exploit that.
Is there something though in that third quarter that you saw that you can exploit this weekend?
Oh, there's little things that you would look at and take some confidence in, but you've got to go and execute it. Like we play a little bit different than Sydney, but like I said, you look at the opportunities, but we'll be just worried about the way that we play, and we're not going to take too much out of that game.
Just the 1 week for Nick, do you feel confident he'll be back for round 2?
Yeah, it's just a volume thing right now, so it would just be too high risk. He just hasn't done enough. So he's putting on obviously a fair bit of... He's had his ankle and he had a bit of a grumbly back, so he's too important to us to go and risk in round 1. We expect him to have a big season, not just the big round 1. So he'll get a really good block of training in now. So obviously he'll have another 3 sessions before our next game, and he'll be available for round 2, which is cool.
Sam Grill and Pat Retchko out there today. Are they in chance for a debut?
No, well, it's really exciting. Like, Sam Grill's going to debut for our footy club. Told him today, a little bit mindful of telling him too early in the week. He's such an energetic kid. He would have played the game in his head about 20 times, I reckon, if I'd told him yesterday. So really exciting for our boys to hear that this morning. Good for his family, great for his family to come along, and I think they were Carlton supporters growing up, so quite ironic. But no, he's deserved his opportunity. We're not going to gift games to our younger players. He really deserves it. So he gives us something different, and he's earned the respect of his teammates in the minute he's walked into our footy club, and we can't wait to see what he can do on the G.
What is he going to bring? What can fans expect from Sam Grill?
Well, I think he'll bring a really competitive attitude. Like his will to win is next level. He swears at the umpies out here, which half the time they're coaches. So he does get really animated because he wants to win. And with that, he wants the ball in his hands and he wants to defend really hard, and that's all we can ask as a half-back. Like, he's got some high talent and high speed when he on offence, but at the same time he's fight to death, and the way that he defends is the reason why he's in the team. So, or the reason why he's got in so early. So we can't wait for him to bring that on and get to show that on the G.
bit of chat around Sam Law and Carlton's Jagger Smith playing against each other for the first time. Two really highly rated kids. I guess, where do you see Sam at this point in his career? Clearly after some injuries late last year.
Yeah, well, firstly, it's really exciting for Jagger. Like, I've known Jagger for a little while, and you obviously hate seeing young kids get injured. We've got a few right now that are on the sidelines that would love to be out there. It would have been nice for Tash Houghton to be leaning on Jagger this weekend. But so you obviously feel for them when they're not playing, but then when you get the chance to see them against each other, it's going to be really exciting for both clubs. So both highly talented. Seeing them play on each other in a centre bounce, it'd be nice to see Sammy on Paddy Cripps as well. So it's obviously exciting for both clubs. But yeah, he's obviously going to be a threat that we've got to worry about.
Just on the Blues, obviously there's a lot of talk about them. They played one game, perhaps a little bit some exaggeration, but do you need to talk to your players about that response? It's probably coming from their side of things.
When you think about the psychology of the game, you're constantly reminding your players around that. You can't get drawn into reading too much about that. If a team's under pressure, you know that they're going to be coming out firing anyway, but they're going to come out firing no matter what because they've just lost the game. We've got to worry about the way that we start the game and the way that we play. So there's a small element of that. There'll be obviously some noise around them, but there's noise around them because they've played a game and we haven't. So we understand. We reviewed the Melbourne game really clearly. We understood that we weren't good enough in the first quarter. We'll be going out to go and rectify those things in our game rather than worrying about who we're playing. We just worry about how we play.
Sam Cumming was out there on the track, no shoulder strapping. How's he tracking?
Yeah, he took a couple of marks today. I would have liked to have seen him on the G soon. So, no, he's tracking really nicely. So we've got a plan around that month to really strengthen it up, and then we'll make a decision after that. We'll never put him at risk. He's too important for us, but at the same time, if we feel like there's an opportunity that we can get some footy into him this year, our medical team will make a really measured decision, a really smart decision around him. But it's exciting to see him running around and pain-free, and he was pretty early pain-free, so after he did it, so that was the only reason why we're going down this path. So to see him running around, I reckon he'll be a bit jealous on Thursday night for sure, but hopefully we can see him during the year.
Just back to Sam Lawler, where does he play his best football, or have you not?
Out on the ground, really. Well, he's going to obviously. He's had a full pre-season, which he didn't have last year. So obviously it'd be nice to have two of them if we could have one inside, but he'll get some midfield exposure. Last year was more centre bounce, but now he can go and play one rotation as a midfielder and go and run around and play as a pure mid. We obviously need him down forward and we want to see him forward, so there'll be a blend of that. Last year it might have been an 80-20 split maybe. This year it might be a 60-40 split, so which is really exciting for our footy club. We know that what he's doing at training is one thing, but AFL minutes as a midfielder is a lot tougher. So we'll manage him through that, but yeah, we'll see some midfield exposure as well as obviously his talent, hopefully up the front end.
Noah Bolter, is he right to go? And I guess how well placed is he, having had such a disruptive year last year?
Yeah, well, he's in a really good spot up until he had a hiccup with his hammy. He hadn't missed any sessions, so yeah, he's ready to play and he's going to play. So he's obviously had just a slight hammy that he looked after, and we managed him through that, and our medical team did that really well. He was almost ready to play last week, so he played our intra-club game and got some minutes in that, and yeah, he's going to be really important for us down back. So seeing him play with Ben Miller and Josh Gibcus together will be really important and really excited for our footy club.
And there's a couple of reports out this morning which say that the AFL's illicit drugs policy will be revised. Main change being a change from the strikes policy, which exists now, to more of a hair testing regime. Firstly, does the policy need to change? And if so, how?
Oh, well, until that comes out, our number one priority is the health and well-being of our players. So whenever that comes out, obviously the AFL and clubs and the Players Association will work together, and they'll come up with a plan that suits everyone and obviously focus on the health and safety of our players. So when you say it would only be my opinion whether it should change or not, that's not in my hands. So they'll give us the policy and we'll just run with it. As
someone though who's obviously played, now a coach, you've seen many iterations of the policy.
Yep.
Is it a good thing that it's moving away from the strikes, and is that in itself an acknowledgement that it hasn't really worked? It was never really enforced on
I just think it's a good thing that we're discussing it. If we feel like the policy before needed some adjustment, well, it's great that we're having those discussions and those conversations around, is it working, is it not? If guys are slipping through the cracks, well then some adjustment needed to happen, and if that's happening, and they send that through, well then we're obviously all got to abide by that. So I think the main thing is the fact that we're looking at it and not just sitting on our hands and not doing anything about it. So once those parameters come through, we'll obviously abide by them all.
Just one on the expectation of the team back to footy. Obviously, lots of young players, lots of talented players. There's patience there, which is understandable. From you though, this season, does that go up at another level in terms of your mindset, your expectation, or is it still some patience that needs?
No, our expectation is to play well and try to win every week and be really honest with the way that we review every game. So our expectation wasn't low last year. Like I said, we won the first game and we reviewed the game like we had lost it. So that's going to be exactly the same. We expect to play a brand of footy that is going to be sustainable and play finals footy, whether it's this year, next year, the year after. We need to play that way. There'll be games that we might not be able to last as long and we might not be competitive for all 4 quarters, but the process needs to be the same. We expect to play a certain way every quarter and be really consistent. So hopefully this weekend we can do that for long enough and hopefully obviously come away with a win.
We've seen Sydney and Collingwood do different things with the fifth bench slot. Will you guys be looking to do anything different, or is it just 5 on the run?
Yeah, well, I think a lot we'll do it differently. Some have used a sub, some have obviously used with the second ruck, but there will be someone that has lower game time. So we'll make that decision. I think that might vary each week. Whether it is a second ruck and that guy plays lower game time, we'll probably start that way to help Nank out. But after that, it will be, let's just see how we're going and where the comp's really going. It's an unknown, and we'll just get a feel for that in the first month of footy.
Just every sort of marquee game, there's always a discussion, say, do Carlton and Richmond deserve this season opener? Do you think there's anything you guys or Carlton have to prove to show that this is a game you should hang on to? Albeit with the caveat
Well, unless we
opening
can
round.
average over 100,000, because I think we average over 80. It's a pretty good, it's a fair start to the season, and I get a sense whenever I talk to our players around this, it's such an important game and such an exciting game for both clubs. I reckon the players that are getting told this weekend at Carlton, if they miss out on this game, it stings a little bit. And I felt like even talking to players that are missing out today, like with a round 1 game against Carlton is one that you really want to play. So there's that, obviously the mindset around that for players, but for our club and for their club and for the comp, to average over 80,000 crowd every year for however many years we've done that, I think it speaks for itself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
You bet your kids are watching. Think before you gamble around them. Love the game, not the odds.